finally, we're ready to move into the consolidation and review of the budget process. So the first thing that we may need to do is some type of allocation. And typically that allocation, in our case, this example is going to be a product profitability. So we can come in and we could take a look, for example, and let me just change my view here up to the top of the house. And I can see that the allocation has indeed changed. So I need to rerun the allocation. Nothing has been allocated yet because we haven't actually processed the allocation. So this report is a nice verification report by product line. It's showing me revenue, which is what the allocation is based on. And then I can see the allocation calculation in the sheet as well as in the database and see that something indeed has changed. So to process the allocation, we're just going to select this step in the business process flow. And again, this allocation for a lot of customers could be leveraged across both budget and actuals. So I may want to leverage the same type of thing so that I can compare more accurately. So we're going to be performing this on budget version 2. And we're going to be focused on Italy in our case. And we want to run this for all of 2007. So just select my 2007 months and go ahead and finish the allocation. Just like we saw earlier with the top-down allocation that we did at the beginning of the process, we always have the ability to come out and check the status. So here I can keep track of, what has been run, what different types of packages or allocations have been run, and if they completed successfully. So this takes just a minute here for the allocation to run, then we'll be able to come out and see the results of the allocation. And as we can see, the allocation has now completed successfully. So we're going to go back to the business process flow. And if we open that allocated expense report again, okay, we don't want to take a look at that one. Let's take a look at our product profitability. And we can see that the results now have been allocated from no product line into each of the detailed products. And to take a look at what's actually happened here, we can use our data source dimension. And data source is used to store information that's coming from different sources in different buckets. So for example, I can see that I have adjustments. I have my input and then any adjustments that have been made, and that gives me my total with adjustments. And then we layer allocations on top of that. So if we want to see what this information looked like before we ran the allocation, we can change our point of view to total with adjustments. And now we see everything, all the expenses were booked in no product line. Our goal was to book them into the individual product lines so that we could see a product profitability report. If I want to see what was posted as a result of the allocation, I can look at my product allocations data source, which is going to show me everything was reversed out of no product line and booked into the appropriate product line, again, based on third-party revenues, what's being utilized here as a driver. If I want to see the full results with everything in, I now can see the result, my new product profitability based on the result of that allocation. Now, typically there's a variety of other things that needs to happen as part of the process. So for example, I may need to take a look at the budget package and post this out so that users all over the organization have access to this information. So it might include things like income statement, balance sheet. We've already talked about going through this exercise as part of the forecast. As you can see, I have the ability here to publish a book right from Excel, publish it out to HTML, PDF format. Again, as you've already seen in the overview demo with those forecast reports. And then the final step typically in the budget process is now that I've completed all of my information for Italy, I need to set my status to submitted. So this is actually what's going to lock the data down. It's going to force the data to be locked so that I can't go in and continue making changes. And I'm just going to select my new status is submitted. And then I can go back to my business process flow and complete this step, which is going to complete my business process flow for the data region I was working in. So other users now cannot come into this business process flow for Italy, for budget V2, for 2007, and continue making changes to the business process flow because the process is now successfully completed. So just to recap, as you saw today with Outlook Soft, the annual budget process really covers a variety of things: HR planning, capital expenditure planning, and we're utilizing all the things that you've already seen in the Outlook Soft application. So we're utilizing the real-time nature of inputting information, consolidating, performing calculations. We're using the familiar user interfaces. We focused heavily today in Excel, which is what most of our customers use for the budgeting application. We talked a little bit about coming in through the browser, the control, the consistency the business process flow provides. So all of these things, again, are offered in one single unified application. Same application that's used for all the functionality that you've seen already around consolidations, around reporting, around dashboarding, around administration. Single unified application, familiar Excel interface, familiar browser, that type of thing, so that users really accept the application typically much more quickly and have a much less steep learning curve to actually get proficient in the application.